We're talking Real Housewives of Atlanta here on Reality Check, the reunion. Stay tuned.
You are tuned into Black Hollywood Live, Reality Check.
This is the only lesbian song I can ever think of. What up, y'all? Welcome to Black Hollywood Live's Reality Check. We're giving y'all a special. Y'all have been asking for it for so long. And honey, we was not going over to AfterBuzz to do it, so we came here to Black Hollywood Live's Reality Check. We're going to do the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion recap. I'm joined in studio with the lovely Courtney Stewart.
What's up, y'all?
Oh, I really tried to get Corinne in here, y'all. It was a surprise.
Corinne?
I was like, we're going to try it for next week because we're going to do it this week and next week.
We're trying to do a family reunion.
We tried. I hit up Stephanie Bauer too. She didn't even respond back. I was like,
she ain't here.
I seen it though.
You know, she did see it, but she didn't respond.
I seen
it's
that.
Okay, though. It's okay.
That's fine. You didn't want to come up here because I had the receipts.
It's okay. It's fine.
I need a new lesbian song to come out because every time I think of like a kissing one, it's always this one.
This is the only song I can think of. Yeah. I can't think of anything else that's like lesbian.
You know. But hey,
this was a good one though.
This was a good one. It was either we were gonna come in with this or Elvis.
And we couldn't think of an Elvis song.
I couldn't, yeah.
I mean, we could come up with two or three.
I just know that he does a song that's like,
Las Vegas. That's one I know. I just
remember
remember that movie because I used to watch.
With him in it?
Yeah. He used to do like movies in the 60s.
I mean, I remember that. I remember like his movies were like him in Hawaii or something.
Yeah, they were always like ridiculous, but they were, I used to watch them all.
Cultural appropriation at its finest. All right, let's talk about it. All right, let's quickly go over the reunion part 1 and 2 real quick. I mean, like, all right, so first of all, what did you think of the ladies? Engineers in the booth, we can hear you still. Love you.
Yeah. Do we have any chat room this?
I'm gonna go in the chat room too. So if you guys are in the chat room, chat with me. All right. So what did you think of? What did you think of the outfits?
Okay. I've been waiting to say this. Okay. So I actually think Phaedra's color is amazing on her.
She just got frog
waist
face.
Up, it looks pretty good. Her boobs are sitting right. That color looks good. Her skin looks fantastic. It's been fabulous. Of course, I gave the win to Cynthia Bailey because I think that blue is phenomenal and her boobies look fantastic. And I'm a big hair person, even though I'm not that today. Who would it go? I would give it to her then. I would go Kenya. Cynthia. I like Kenya. I like Kenya, but Kenya's boobs are driving me crazy.
Okay,
like,
but see, I'm here for the Kenya.
I like the hair.
Glenda wig from
I like the hair.
Wiz.
Yeah, I like the hair and I like the color, but I just need those boobs. Like, it's not working for the boobs on me. But I guess she has to get second.
You done sag them titties all the way up.
Well, actually, no. I think I would actually give Phaedra second before Kenya. And then I would do Kenya.
See, something, I used to love me some Phaedra, but there's something this season about Phaedra's face.
Because she ain't lying and fraudulent and crazy.
Who she looked like is, you ever seen that meme of that Pepe the Frog?
Yes, Pepe the Frog.
And Pepe the Frog wore a red dress. Phaedra.
But the red looked good on her skin.
Are you into Portia?
Not at all.
I want to be.
I hate it all.
I want it to be, but yeah.
It looks like a terrible, like, in the color. It was
made on
Elvis,
Project Runway.
It's terrible. And even and I love her with short hair because I think she has a great face for all different levels of hair.
I love me with Portia.
I mean, I love her with the beautiful, like, perfect, like, long hair, but I love the short hair molded too. But couple it with that outfit, it was not working to me at all. It made her look old to me. It looked like an old lady dress, like, bam. And then Sheree, yeah.
New eyeshadow girl.
And I wish Candy's worked for me because I love a glittery jumpsuit, but it's just not. I do like her hair, though. It's like just slick back and the softer makeup, but it's just not that exciting. Anyway. Cynthia Bailey wins.
Boom.
Sorry.
All right, so obviously for how many seasons we've been talking about this Chateau Sheree in the Moore Manor.
Well, it's been going and going.
So,
and going,
I mean, I think this. What I have learned off of Bravo the past 2 seasons is Sheree and Karen from Real Housewives of Potomac need to do, like, Andy needs to start a home show on Bravo.
For real?
And those two need to be, like, the people who bring people to come look at the homes. Like, have you seen Potomac, Karen Huger looking at new homes?
Yes, I have.
Love it. I live for it.
But it's, like
she's just horrified by everything.
She's horrified, but I'm like, have you seen your own house?
I know, but that's the fun. That's the campiness of it.
I get it size-wise, but your house is so dated. It's, like, ridiculous that you're having such an aversion to all these other homes. It's like, girl, come on. Have you walked into your own house? knows?
What house would you stay at, Moore Manor or Chateau Cheray? Which one do you think's
I
cuter?
actually really like them both. I think they're very different types of homes. The reason I would pick Chateau Cheray is just because it looked like it's more out in the open, and Kenya's house scared me because it's like down in the cut,
Kenya
back in the wood. And don't get me wrong,
Looked like a Redbox movie,
from
like a
Georgia.
horror movie.
I'm from Georgia, so I know a lot of those houses, like, because it's not really like sidewalks everywhere and like the house is right there. Like, people have their property and your house is back off the street and all that. But down here, it be raining in Georgia. We got, some alligators might show up in your yard
Wait,
somewhere.
what?
Like, you just
You
never.
have alligators in
Not typically.
Atlanta?
That's mostly in Florida, but it has happened. Especially because like my parents had a lake in their neighborhood and like little snakes and I just can't. That's why I can't be all up in the woods like that. But I love a modern home. But I do agree that Kenya's home looked more like the phenomenal IKEA home.
Oh.
And that's not saying that what she put in there was IKEA, but
Right.
I could see that how that could be the
IKEA could
case.
fit in
But I mean, if Sheree's house is Sheree's house, which is still up for debate apparently, it was well done. They did a good job, and it's huge. I have no idea why you need such a big house as a woman whose children are about to graduate high school and go to college and all that. But hey, it's your life, girl. Live it. I'm not
Amen.
mad. I like the furry wall or whatever that was. Was it wood or fur? I don't remember which one.
So we get Phaedra versus Kenya. Okay, does the storyline still... So we saw Phaedra talking about... She kept kind of going back to the whole, like, well, you were flirting with my man in Anguilla, or whatever the fuck it was. And I'm just like, okay. Like, I know, like, once something happens in life, and, you know what I mean, forgive but don't forget.
Yeah.
So, okay, you can move forward always kind of having this in the back of your head with this person.
Yes.
But... for Phaedra to keep throwing it up now at this point, I mean, you done prayed.
Well,
on it.
but that speaks to her, because that's the only thing I kind of would sort of like defend her about, because it's obvious she's not over it. And I feel you on that. I understand. And even if it turned out in the end that Apollo lied about all the stuff that happened after Anguilla, like in terms of Kenya contacting him and all that, what she felt during that time still existed.
Right. So it's
she
not
did
like
go,
it's negated.
And so I'm not trying to negate that, and I understand and whatever. But at the same time, if you're supposed to be this, holy woman who believes in the Lord our God, our Savior, like, you do not be throwing
Look,
the stones,
Phaedra, you can
girl.
be a religious woman, and you can still be a freak, girl. It's okay.
It's okay, but like, regardless,
It may not be okay, but I'm just saying, like, girl, at this point, I don't know.
Well, you're
But-
obviously doing it regardless.
Right, so just own it.
Just own it.
You know what I mean? Like, be like, we ready.
And you ain't got to call Kenya out her name and call her the next nuck or whatever because she threw a party and you felt like she was on, and you calling her hoes and tricks, and like, that was not what Jesus would do, girl.
We got the whole Sheree and Bob and the Matt and the Kenya argument where... I mean, my thing with Kenya, Matt, we've talked about it on Reality Check. I'm not going to even, like, drain it, really. But, like, Kenya, at the end of the day, I'm sorry, there's too many, like, things out there that are kind of pointing to the fact that, you might have dragged Matt into a situation that he didn't really fully prepare
for. He wasn't prepared for.
As far as him being violent, I mean, I'm not going to take that away because, you know what I mean? I don't know, like, it's just like they got into the whole provoking conversation, right?
Yeah.
And, Kenya, there's a reason why they do feel that you do provoke certain situations, and that's not to say that the other girls don't provoke certain situations, but it's just kind of like a continuous theme with you, and it's not only just on this one specific show.
Yeah, because she even brought up, like, when they talked about the provoking thing, and she brought up whenever they were with the crazy lady in Florida, when they went to Miami or whatever, and the guy that came in the house who was the crazy lady, and she like fleetingly brought that up. And she's like, no, man, and and I was like, yes, we all agree and know that and whatever, but I do think you have to take some responsibility for where you place yourself. Like, okay, Matt spazzed out the first time and she would say whatever, he never came after her, so she thought it was fine. But like, if he's throwing that kind of a tantrum and destroying property at that time and you put yourself back in that situation, then you have some responsibility in the fact that you're in that situation. So it just sucks, but I don't know. I mean, she just be saying shit. Some people just be running their mouth too much. And I'm not saying that in the Matt situation, but Kenya, with the Portia thing, when she got beat down by Portia, like, I I'm sorry, and I cannot stand Portia anymore, especially after this season. But I still empathize with what Portia did. It wasn't right.
I never thought I would finally come to the day where it's just looking at Phaedra like, girl.
Somebody need to drag you.
Like, shade is fun, but like you can't be out here shading and lying.
Shading and lying and like accusing people of crime.
The point of shade, like shade only works if there's truth to it. Like if you're just coming up here and being like, oh, she a hoe, and you're gonna start shading someone for being a hoe when they ain't really a hoe. Like you just speculating it because you heard it through somebody else, but you don't actually know if that person's a hoe. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, and you know, you can light shade that situation, but you gonna sit up here and like the Da Vinci Code.
Phaedra is
these bitches. Like I'm just like.
Do you think Phaedra's just like so?
You let me down, girl.
Emotionally, ruined
tired.
And
Just
tired,
she looks
and
tired.
she's bitter, like because she's in the situation and she's embarrassed that it's all gotten caught, and like now she's on TV and can't get away from it. So she just lashing 100%. Out. Just lashing out.
No, she don't. I don't even think it's even lashing out. I think it's just she don't know what to do. Like she want to keep her job. She want to be young and cool. She want to be hip. Like, because not only is she going through, okay, I might have lied and done some scams. Now she's going through like. You haven't been watching American Crime, but like they're really covering like the housewife who's been in a 20-year relationship or whatever the relationship is, and how do they find themselves after that when that doesn't work. And like when you think about it, a lot of these reality stars, they go on these shows and no one really trains you how to be on one of these shows.
No.
And you have to go through a public divorce, public humility, like, and she's somebody like I thought it was very.
She got an ego, yo.
Well, that, and I thought, yes, and I thought it was also very telling when Peter said, what did he say to Phaedra? You're divorced, right? Life ain't perfect, baby.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like you want to be mad at Phaedra, but it's like I'm more so I pity you because you have to go through life every day
pretending, just like, which is funny because she never really dropped that ruse since she's been on television because she started that way.
Look at you, just Jesus.
That's why I put Jesus right there because she's been that since she was on the show, like pretending to be pregnant later because you weren't married when you got pregnant. And you don't want your mom to be upset, which is sad because you're 40 years old and you don't want. But I get it because I'm the same way.
Well, it's like religion. Like religion can put that kind of not guilt, but like
guilt. It is guilt because you
and judgment almost on other people.
And but you're also judging yourself. You're like, I didn't do it exactly how I was supposed to do, and I'm trying to be grown and I'm living my life. But at the same time, I feel like I effed up, and now I'm on TV. But at the same time, you chose to go on TV, so you knew all that was gonna get like asked, questioned, possibly come out.
That's why they're saying they don't think she's coming back next season.
Well, they say that, but
I mean, honestly though, this whole show needs a revamp.
They said they bring in Nene and Kim back.
I'm asleep. All right, let's talk about reunion part 3.
But they can't put all new people, Jesse. We'll be like,
I'm at that point.
No, you aren't.
I am.
I bet you money if they give us all new chicks next season, you'll be like, this sucks.
I'd be like, it's Potomac. Like, hi, I'm doing that show. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just at the point where it's like, I can't with Candy. Who's Candy gonna be mad at this year? You can keep Kenya and Sheree. You can throw Nene in there.
Well, see, I feel like they should keep Kenya, Sheree, bring Nene and Kim back, and then maybe give us 2 new ones.
All new girls. Because I can do without Cynthia, without Phaedra, without Portia.
I'm okay without Cynthia. I'm okay without Portia. Like, yeah.
Even you could keep Phaedra?
I would, but I don't know if Phaedra works anymore.
Yeah,
because she sort of ruined her-ness. Because before, even when she was shading,
Sheree's shady enough. Like, I'm good.
But she was doing good shade like Sheree did. Like, now Phaedra's doing, like, desperate shade.
Yeah, like, she's trying to get out this hole.
She's trying to, like, save her own life by ruining everybody's life. Like, it's just not... It's weird.
I just think of the children.
It's not even fun anymore. No. Like, it's become scary.
Yeah, it's almost like you just watching a train wreck.
Because it's become criminal, and it's like, girl, why we got to go there? Like, we were just playing, and she turned it into, like, a murder scene.
Yeah. Bitch out here, Annalise over here.
You know,
like.
we was just joking and playing and shit, and she just decided to make it homicide. Like, and we don't want to do that. That's not what this is about.
Well, so the men came out. So we got Bob, Peter, and Todd.
Why they let Bob talk at all?
Because
he still didn't say nothing to me that just made me like, okay.
He may not hit her.
he just, I don't know. And then that was just uncomfortable. Like, once again, when it gets to stuff like that, I'm like, this is not what I watch Housewives for.
Yes!
Like,
I don't want to hear that Bob wanted to put Sheree through a fucking windshield.
and then laugh about it. And then when he kind of apologized,
Kind of.
and then it was all weird and retarded. It was like, yeah, you the mother of my children. I would never want to see your end come soon. Or whatever he said, I was like, what was that? Oh, no. I like Bob dancing with the coconuts on the beach. Like, I didn't want to know that you are a heathen, like, just beating on women and, like, done all this horrible stuff. Housewives, you gotten too deep. We don't want deepness. We want shallow, stupid
Right, like,
shit.
no, I don't want to no offense. I know why you're doing it, because it's, like, you know, PSA, but, like, I don't want to hear Andy having a conversation with Bob, like it's Ayanla Fix My Life, about how he's going to talk to his children, because I don't even know how that would go, first of all.
This is not the forum for that.
Yeah, like,
all.
I'm just
it's
so...
not.
And,
but I will give credit, I will say, because I've never been a Sheree fan, ever. I've always thought she felt, from the beginning, she just felt so inauthentic and gross. Like, I just did not like Sheree
even the
at all.
Ayanla thing didn't make me like it, but this... Yeah.
But this season, I finally am like,
Yep.
I like you, and I get you, I think, a little bit better. So I appreciated that much.
Let's talk about Princess Peach. Peter said he talks to
Peter,
Noelle
mad
more.
and drunk.
Drunk.
He was drunk. I think he might have been high too. His eyes was looking a little like.
Yeah, he was quiet too.
He was, yeah.
He was probably high.
Well, he was quiet, but then he wasn't quiet because he was like running off.
No, that's
like,
a different. That's a different kind. That's high. That's high
what I'm
conversation.
saying.
Because if you just drunk, you gonna be like how he was last year.
Yeah, like tell
yelling
him,
across.
shut up. Like no.
Now high, you gonna be like.
Yeah, he was.
All right, so fan question: did Peter get the goods in Maui? And he had the nerve to be like, "If I can't have all of her, then I don't want none of her."
But I liked that.
No.
What?
Because
You're like, no.
she separated from you because she had feelings of infidelity. She felt like you were cheating on her. So you're not gonna fuck me when I think that when there's a video.
That's what he said. He's like, I'm not obviously, but he's
the point
with
is
that. Like, we're not in a relationship, so he's respecting the fact. He's not
uh-uh.
gonna just use her as a fuck doll.
Peter ain't gonna talk about nobody's respect when he like, yeah, I'm real happy. Like, yeah, I'm out here on a date. I want her to find whoever she need to find, cause I love her. She know I love her, and when she want, I'ma always be there for her. Yeah. Oh, he broken because he showed up drunk. I get it, but I'm not gonna sit up here and act like, Sir, you had a fucking video of a woman. This is the same thing with Russell Williams and whatever the fuck his name is in Sierra. Why you got that girl sitting on your lap? Like what?
Oh.
And whatever if the case is, maybe y'all are friends with what? I don't know. Maybe I just grew up in a different time.
Optics matter. Optics matter. When you're in a relationship, you are supposed to be more aware of what you're doing with yourself.
Context.
So nothing looks like it could be read or
and now the Russell and Sierra
way.
thing, that was a situation they were aware about, but this was not a situation. She felt uncomfortable, and you just sitting out here dick shotting it like that man ain't shit. And then you let your woman get in her negative feelings and insecure.
Well, it wasn't just
and
that.
it wasn't just that. It was money too.
It was a lot about the money.
But what about his excuse talking about?
Admittedly said that she doesn't deal with stress well.
Okay, look. This is a Kirk and Rashida situation. Like,
no, it's not.
It's to a certain point. Like, girl, if I'm giving you money and we put money in and you invested in shit, don't sit here and talk about you always good at dealing with shit, because that just means that that's what you do. You fucking handle manure. That is what you are, sir.
But she knew that.
I know, and it's her fault too. So because maybe Peter don't need a bar. Maybe Peter need a daycare center.
Maybe Peter does need a bar, but he operates in that kind of chaos. There are some people that are attracted to and they live in chaos, and if they're not living in that, then they're not themselves. And Peter seems like one of those people.
Maybe Peter needs to step outside of himself.
Well, the problem is that Peter's like 60 years old. He's not going to step outside of himself.
And that's how she became resentful.
But that's her bad, because she knew who he was when she got with him. It's ridiculous. Well, that's why her mama and her sister was like, girl, hide the marriage license so you don't actually do this to yourself. But anyway, it made
Francisco
me sad.
said you guys forgot to introduce Bob's eyes. Honey, they were already introduced. They introduced themselves.
Dang.
They were literally shaking hands with each other.
Stop, y'all. But he had little black earrings. And his beard was really shiny. Do you spray oil sheen on your beard, Bob?
Probably. They probably do that.
Do they still make oil sheen?
Yeah. Like Shout out to everyone in the chat room. We got the
Hey,
Charity
y'all, hey,
123.
y'all, hey, y'all.
We got Cody Hill, Kimmy Sylvester, Francisco Carroll. We're gonna be back next Sunday for the final reunion.
one. We only came to the last two, y'all, because we knew
the first two was
the
gonna
content. Well, shoot, I was hoping the third one was gonna explode a little more,
Yeah,
but
I
they
did
saving
too.
all the explosion for the last.
We could have had one reunion. We could have had
We
like
could've just done one
reunion,
and
like a
maybe-
hour and a half reunion.
I would have been good with 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I think they would have been alright. But anyway,
All right, we get to Candy. She's talking about Riley and Block. They said that Block's been pretty consistent.
what is Block's real name? Because I don't like calling him Block. Can we call him
I'm
by
fine
his
with
actual
it.
name?
I'm fine with
I don't
it.
Block. What is that?
Look, bitch, Bubba. What was his name?
He's like 50
Bubba in the
years
woods.
old.
What's
Like, why is
what's
your name-
Phaedra?
You said
Apollo's
Bubba
friend.
in the woods.
What's Apollo's friend?
Was it Bubba? I don't remember what it was. What was his friend's name?
What was Bubba in the woods? Was it Bubba? It wasn't Bubba.
It might have been. I think
Bubba.
it might have been Bubba.
I want to say
Pookie. It wasn't Pookie. Like it was something
it
ridiculous.
was something like
like
Putin.
Pookie in the woods. I don't remember. Pookie in the bushes. I think it was Bubba in the bushes because we
Bubba.
kept saying that. I don't remember. Anyway.
All right, so we see Portia. Her man Todd wasn't there because they going through some stuff.
No,
but
he wasn't there because he know better.
Yeah.
He ain't no fool.
He's like, I didn't get paid enough to come show
I
up.
did not get paid at all, probably, to be
Yeah.
on this show. I just got a free trip to Hawaii, and I now have a new job back in D.C., and I'm trying to be a professional. You're going to fuck that up.
They brought up the pregnant prenup situation thing.
Whatever.
And Peter's over there talking about who does that? Your wife. Your wife would, because she had a friendship.
She had a friendship contract
with
You're
Nene Leakes.
So judgy, Jesse.
He sat behind Portia like, who does that?
It's not the same thing as a baby nup. I hate
Stop
this
it. Just
wig.
because you
Ugh.
love Cynthia.
I
like
do.
Cynthia.
I love Cynthia.
But that's
it was
similar.
ridiculous.
They're
It
both
wasn't similar.
ridiculous.
No, I think Portia's was way more ridiculous because it's about a baby and that whole situation was a mess. But isn't the word on the street they were never together for real anyway?
Yes. Word on the street is.
Which is why
I'm
he
word
wasn't
on
there.
the street.
Okay, Giselle. Can somebody tell her to stop wearing multicolored eyeshadow? Sorry.
That's
Moving
probably
on.
the
Another
stuff she makes
conversation.
because she had her own makeup
But
line.
like,
apparently.
that has nothing to do with putting on the multiple colors. Like
Speaking of multiple colors, Peter saw multiple colors and decided to walk off.
he got stressed out. He was like, "I'm too hot for this shit. I gotta go."
Drunk in the bathroom talking about Cynthia Bailey. To you, I wish you were stronger.
You don't feel bad at all.
Did you guys get me a car? Get me out of here.
He just needed some potato chips.
He just knew this was his last
He
reunion,
knew he
and
wasn't
was
doing
like,
this no more. He was like, "I'm not sitting here for the effery. I'm done. I'm over it." But he loves Cynthia. He wanted that girl so bad, and she just don't know what to do about being with nobody. How you gonna snort? I'm gonna miss Peter.
"You, Peter."
I liked Peter.
I liked Peter too.
Peter, I want to hang
still
out with
like
you.
Peter.
Like I would still hang out with you.
I would
Peter.
hang out with
I
Peter.
bet
I would
is
tell him about
fun.
himself, but I'm just saying, like, Peter, I could never be Cynthia's gay friend.
Why?
Because I would be cussing Peter out all the time. Because Peter's that type of guy that I would actually, as Cynthia's gay friend, I would be friends with Peter, and I wouldn't have the time to have conversation with Peter because Peter wanted to buck up, and I would buck up conversation-wise with
But
him
that's
too.
why Peter's hot, because Peter just be like,
Yeah, but he a fake buck upper because Matt.
he ain't gonna do nothing for real. No, that's because Peter's old and he's grown enough to know, like, I ain't about to do that shit for real.
Speaking
worth going to jail
speaking of
over.
Nuck if you buck, the bone carrier Miss Sheree
Everybody bones. You carry bones. You carry bones. Okay, y'all.
is spilling all the tea that Portia had dated Block. I mean, it sounded like Portia would date Block.
And
Not
she
surprised.
admittedly dated him, and it was like, why is this a big deal? Just, okay, you dated Block.
She said that Phaedra hit on Shamia's husband.
That was a lot.
And then Shamia came out, and here's where all the tea really started to happen. I was just so excited for this.
It was good, and I'm gonna give credit to Shamia because at first I was like, "Why they gonna have her on the couch?"
But
Here
she-
we go. But she held herself real well, and I would not be mad if Shamia was maybe one of the new people.
I would be, and do not,
I would be
because she on
interested.
there like,
Cause I'm mad with y'all. Can I just say I was sad though that the fact that they only brought out one husband and then the two other men weren't even husbands and everybody else ain't got no husband. I was just like, why is this Real Housewives of Atlanta? Ain't nobody got a husband.
this needs to be Real Housewives of Reboot.
It's embarrassing. Like, hi, ain't none of them married no more.
So Portia hasn't talked to Shamia since that footage of Phaedra and
Since it
Sheree
aired.
aired. Interesting.
I mean,
And then they said, Shamia, who talks the most behind people's back? Or
behind people's backs.
not Shamia.
They
They asked Sheree. And then
they
Sheree
asked
said,
Sheree.
I would say Phaedra. And Phaedra asked her to say, well, that just goes to prove that I ain't trying to put people's business out there. Bitch, you saying it on
She
national
said,
television.
I ain't putting nobody's business on Front Street, because I'm going to say it Back Street.
Backstreet's still got a camera, lens a view for Front Street 2 view.
See, and this is why we are upset with Phaedra. Because Phaedra's supposed to be smart.
Own it.
She's supposed to be smart, though, and now she's just looking stupid because she can't come. There's no excuse for her behavior, so there's nothing she can come up to like logically explain like the dumb shit that she's done. And we're like, bitch, you were supposed to be the smart one, like that never got caught up in nothing because she could just roll it off and snap off on something, and we would laugh because she's smart.
But honestly,
you're failing, girl.
Honestly, and you could have been on some other shit. You could have flipped this whole script, Phaedra, and be like, I'm tired of these bitches. I was so over everything. I was just tired. I just wanted to start some mess. And I would have been like, all right, well, okay.
But she knows that that's devilish.
Then that goes against
and that goes against who she's supposed to be, because that's terrible. Because what she should have done is had that attitude dealing with all the girls while she was dealing with it, instead of being the one making up the shit about other people, and especially about her for real supposedly friend Candy.
Yep. And then I couldn't stand Portia talking about
Portia don't know.
I call myself the queen of Thoughtland. That don't mean I'm calling myself a hoe.
Can we have a conversation about what a thought is? Is a thought not a hoe? Doesn't thought mean that hoe over there?
If you doing thought activities, bitch, then that mean you doing hoe activities. So when you out there twerking and talking about, bitch, like you calling yourself a thought, bitch, you calling yourself a hoe. Now that don't mean you a hoe, because you sitting up here calling yourself a thought. Clearly you don't think you're a thought, so you're joking about it. So someone else joking about it using a different noun. Like, girl, what?
You're a hoe.
I'm confused.
You's
Kenya
a
checks
hoe.
Portia over Shamia. And I felt like she did. She was like, no, Shamia wasn't mad at the other thing. She was mad at the actions that you took. And Portia didn't like that.
She didn't, because she knows she wrong.
Yeah, she does. That's why she
There's no
cried.
defense for your shitty behavior.
And I hate that nobody called Portia out on this. She said, I want to publicly apologize for whatever I did.
So do you not
Bitch,
know?
the point is that what we needed you to do is to say what you did.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you even know why you're apologizing. Do you know why you're apologizing?
She probably doesn't.
That's the problem.
She just knows that she did something.
And it blows my mind that Candy keeps, maybe it's the editing, but that Candy keeps directing the conversation to Portia.
Well,
or is she just done with
I think
Phaedra?
she's done with Phaedra, and she know Phaedra ain't ever gonna say nothing. And I think Candy actually still likes Portia and wants Portia to realize that Phaedra does not have her best interest at all, even close, anywhere, at heart, at soul, at asshole. Like, she has no care for Portia for real. She's using Portia, and that's why she was like, it's an alliance. And that's why Candy be like, girl, but you said this, and like it's like explaining to like a 5-year-old who doesn't quite get everything. You trying to draw the lines for her. Be like, hey, see, A to B to C, and she's not getting it.
Do you think frickin' frack is a real friendship?
I mean, I think they think it's a real friendship, but I don't
You think they both think it's a real friendship?
I think Phaedra took comfort in having somebody not challenge her, because everybody else around her at this point is challenging her. So for friendship, maybe that is what she needed in a friend at the time.
She needs someone to bring the fun out of Auntie.
She needs somebody to bring the fun out of her and not question her or make her, justify some of the shitty shit that she's done. And Portia just don't get it. Portia just happy that somebody being nice to her and not giving her a hard time.
And then Shamia with all the shade, Portia brings the fun out of Auntie. Don't leave your card or license around. She's into fraudulent activity.
She did say that, y'all. She did. And they said, who said that the feds are still watching? Was that Todd? Ooh,
He said we could say a lot of things, but the feds are still watching. Now we get into all this. Phaedra, like, you couldn't say shit. You were silent, like, because you really were on camera, like. And then you sitting up here like, I didn't say that they fuck. I didn't say that they were lesbian. I said.
And then stupid ass Portia, I said y'all was close. Y'all close. Girl, stop. You know what you were saying. Quit pretending.
Then it was Phaedra versus Shamia. Shamia talking about, oh, well, that's why you always asking Portia's mom for an African man.
Why it always come back to the Africans?
there's really gonna be some tea. There
Girl.
needs to be the Real Housewives of Africa, and then the African women being like, no, these bitches are out here fucking our men.
Yeah, I want to meet the circle of African men, like where this is all going
Bitch,
down.
if it was like that picture you showed me.
Can we chat? Hey, because I'll be with the African men. I need a boyfriend. I'm single.
Shamia said, stop
I'll
using Groupon for plastics.
She said your navel. She said her navel was over here to the right or something. And I was like, what? She had a tummy tuck, perhaps, or some suction.
Bitch, that's a tummy pullback.
And they put it on the wrong side. Like, wow, sister, wow.
Should have went to Dr. Miami on Snapchat.
For real.
Portia starts crying. You know, when it gets ugly, it gets difficult.
Do you think it's real? Like she's like that slow? Like she just can't handle all the
Yeah,
conflict?
because then all of a sudden her like mentality, like seconds after, changed, and it was like she came out of the cry and then got into anger, and she don't know how to control her emotions. I do believe she's in anger therapy, like, or in some sort of therapy, because she cannot control her emotions. For her to be like, yo, you know, we good. What you gonna say? Hey, this is just too stressful. Like, Andy, don't tell me. Like, it's either that or she bipolar.
Ooh. Well, girl, at least you didn't hit nobody.
Now we get into the lesbian conversation. So, I never said that you were a lesbian or implied it. Yeah, you did. You co-signed what Phaedra said, implying, and also said that
You in the closet.
yeah, and that Candy tried to hit on you. Like,
Yeah, girl.
Phaedra said, I didn't start rumors. The question at dinner was, who said Candy is a lesbian? Now, if you sleep with a woman, that doesn't make you a lesbian. Really, girl?
I mean, it doesn't.
It doesn't. But
Makes
if
you bi-curious.
But my thing is, Phaedra, if you heard Kenya slept with a woman, what would you say about her?
Yeah.
That she was lesbian.
Yeah. What do you think about the question though, that when they were saying like, are they being homophobic or like?
No, I don't.
Is the shade
because
going
it's the same
homophobic?
thing with like Nene and the gay thing. Like to me, like I'm just one of those gays. Like I don't take it personal. Like it's just like I understand verbiage, and like yeah, would I like to live in a world where you know I don't use bitch all the time or call someone a fag or things like that? Like I believe that those are words. Like I think that there is a type of person that is a fag. Like no offense to anybody, I'm not gonna call you that, but if you have faggot actions, I'm sorry. Like if you have bitch tendencies, like you know what I'm saying. Like so when they're saying the lesbian thing, like I don't think that they're taking it that way. I think that it was implied of like, I think it was an uncomfortable thing. Like it's like, girl, you sitting over here talking about you want to suck my coochie dry. Portia just don't want to talk about it. So it's not that I think that she's like lesbian. She's like, no, I just don't want to admit that. Like, yeah, I was gonna suck the nut out of your pussy. That's some deep shit. Like Portia, you were gonna suck the nut out of Candy's vagina.
I can't.
That just like repeat that sentence. That's why she was like, I'm not a lesbian. Like in the whole lesbian thing. Like it's not like I don't think any of these women, like if there was a lesbian girl next to them, would be like, oh my god, girl, like I just can't. Like I don't take it like that. Okay. I think that they're very friendly with the homosexual community. I just think that it's just a combo, and like Andy had to do it because he did it with the gay thing. Yeah. And I just can't. And then I think I even said on AfterBuzz when Andy did it, like I'm just like, Andy, stop it. Like you out here dragging these women without them. Well, I mean, they know that they're being dragged, but I'm just like, I can't.
Interesting.
Did you take it? Do you think that?
I don't take it as homophobic at all.
Yeah, I didn't.
I just take it as them talking shit about each other, and again, not wanting to fess up to, because none of us, I mean, I don't want to say none of us, but many of us would not necessarily want to place our sexual behaviors on complete blast in front of the world. So even though, yes, you're on a reality show, like, sex is still something everybody's kind of like, yeah, you don't really want to know what I'm doing. I don't really want to tell everything that I'm doing in the bedroom because it's a little embarrassing. So for me, I think that's where it is. But you had to make the sentence. That's kind of gross.
Literally, that's what she said. Like, I'm just
not
like,
gross, I guess crass is the word.
I mean, I really I had to hooked on phonics it, you know? So Phaedra says, you know, what? I mean, I'm not the one that created it. No one ever heard this rumor before.
And then everybody was
Candace
like,
rumor?
no, you heard it, no, you heard it, no, you heard it, no.
And
Portia?
Phaedra gonna be like,
and that's all she could do is breathe. Like, there was no response. Yo frick or frack or whichever one she is didn't even hear of it. You're making shit up, girl.
how do you feel about the 10 years ago Portia's homophobic sermon?
Portia grew up in Baptist church in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm pretty sure her grandfather, Hosea, wasn't he a preacher? Of course she said no to gays and that they need to be saved. Like, that's Christianity in most churches. Like, why are people still acting like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened?
Right.
That's Christianity in most churches that I know about.
Todd said that that Portia and Candy kissed multiple times, and Portia made a proposition for Todd and Candy to come back to the hotel room.
Hey,
and Portia was like,
girl.
I never said that. And Candy was like, well, I should have let you eat it.
Because Portia went on that tirade like,
But like,
Attracted to you. You're not somebody I would be attracted to. And da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
girl, you was drunk and you wanted to eat the candy box. Just say that's what was.
and I mean, you probably woke up the next day thinking about like, ooh, could you imagine me eating that oatmeal cookie? Like,
Well, it might have been delicious.
Like the
'cause,
oatmeal
you know,
pie?
Candy used to say she put the sugar in. She was the one that had the sugar finger thing and was like, "Don't you ever put a little sugar in that?" You know, you remember that?
that's disgusting.
You don't remember her doing? She did.
I believe it.
When they were talking about candy coated nights, and she was like, "You supposed to put a little sugar on your finger and you rub some sugar in there to make it sweet." Now, I'm not one of them people that think you should be putting any foreign objects
Crystallized,
down there
like-
because that's a mess. And then you could just eat some good food and make sure your stuff tastes good. But anyway, she already said that, so it might have been sweet and delicious, and Portia would have enjoyed.
I can't.
Because Portia likes to eat box. Like, why we? Portia, live your life, girl.
Why would Todd and Candy think to drug you? Now, this is just like next week's going to be real interesting because it's kind of like, that's like, seriously, you're going to come out and say that.
That is a major accusation. That's not a small, like, oh, we wanted a threesome. Like,
Oh, shout out to Keen, Francisco, and Lulu.
Hey.
They said his name was Bun. Bun in
oh,
the
it
Woods.
was Bun. Bun. Dang, we said bub.
Oh, Francisco, I can't wait to watch What Happens Live. He said Nene was dragging all of them.
Ooh, I'm excited. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm gonna have to find it online.
Danielle says, did they bring up Cynthia not being divorced? They just filed a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
They didn't bring that up.
They didn't.
Phaedra got too comfortable and got caught up, and she wasn't on her toes. True. Did y'all see Kenya's thigh? All that flour? No.
I didn't see her thigh.
Was it pasty white? What happened?
She was.
Oop. Miss Reed, J. Reed said, yeah, Kenya doesn't believe in lotion.
Oh, y'all, I'm wrong for that. She was ashy. Ooh. Ashy on her thigh, though? Who gets ashy thighs?
Francisco, girl, you were at St. Regis trying to get some shoes. That was what Phaedra
Yeah, I
said
said
to
about Shamia. Phaedra had some.
Keen agrees with me. There is a difference between gay and faggot. Ikram says, where do they find all these rich African girl? That's what we trying to
We
find out.
want to know.
I want me
would
an African man because these ones in LA.
Yes. Can we go to the African festival, the hometown buffet, wherever they at? Somebody tell me because I would like to go.
I can't. All right. So Portia says, why would Todd and Candy think to drug you? And then Portia gets into this whole like the facts and that she works for Dish Nation.
She's a journalist, guys.
Well, no, she didn't say she was a journalist. She said, I work for Dish Nation. That was such a Maria Menounos line. I work for Dish Nation, so I work for journalism. In the world of journalism.
And then Andy shaded her and was like, wait, are you saying you're a journalist? And she was like,
You know, we talk
are you
about
coming for my job,
stories.
Andy?
Coming for my job. We talk about stories and we make sure they're facts
She got really
first.
upset with Andy, though. She really...
yes, because he shaded her. It was funny as hell. We all would have probably done the same thing. And we were silently doing, well, not silently doing it, loud as hell in the studio.
Okay.
But, you know. Go on, girl. You do got you a
We
good job.
report on news and make sure it is accurate.
Accurate, girl.
And
accurate.
who tells you that? Who makes sure that
Your
it's accurate and then
producer.
comes and gives you the
Yes.
paper to read it?
Yes, girl.
She said, and I was served a cease and desist letter from Candy, so I will not speak on it, and I will let Phaedra speak on it because she's the one that told me. Boom, boom, boom.
Candy go, you told her that! Sorry, I just screamed all up in the microphone, but that's what Candy was screaming.
And on that
across the
note,
table.
let's head into what? Predictions.
Blue, 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 blue. Do we get
Oh, he
music?
got confused because it's BHL.
Oh, it's a BHL. It's not AfterBuzz.
Your BHL.
On BHL.
Now your BHL predictions.
BHL predictions.
Wait, y'all don't got a predictions for BHL?
No, we ain't got no predictions because we don't be predicting them.
See, look, I don't even be watching the episodes on
See, that's
BHL.
a
We need
shame.
to.
We need to.
It's okay, you know what I'm saying? All right, next
What's
week.
your prediction? It's
Honey, it
I'm
is
worried
going
it's
to be.
gonna like
I'm
a
wearing
5
black
minute
next
mess, though.
week.
Are you wearing? Okay, I'm gonna do all black too. I'm gonna wear a veil.
I think it's gonna be the funeral
it's
for
gonna be funeral
Phaedra.
of Phaedra, and it needs to because it looked. Oh my! And Phaedra ain't never been this silent. Like she cannot speak. And when they were backstage, and Portia was like, "You got to tell me what's going on," Phaedra was just like, "Baby, I don't know what to say. Like I ain't got nothing because she has nothing."
Yeah, too much tea.
There is no excuse. Like
Too
there's
much tea.
nothing she can come up with to get out of this that I can imagine at this point. So the takedown of Phaedra Parks, honey.
Candy's pissed. She looking
I
at
would be
Andy
pissed too.
like,
She was like, "What you think happening?" Like Candy want to drag somebody down the hill like Mama Joyce
the
wanted
glitter
to.
all crying and sparkling.
I know. But she's real sensitive too because she's like, I made it a point not to be involved in drugs and stuff like that, and they really are dragging her name by saying that shit. So
Like, damn, Phaedra.
that's what you came up with,
Damn.
girl. That's what it's done gone dark, man. This is like some crime scene investigation stuff. Like this is the Housewives. We supposed to be like pulling wigs, dragging a bitch's shoes, talking about who she's sleeping with is trash. Like we ain't supposed to be like talking about
like
crimes
CSI,
and murders
like,
and rapes.
like I'm watching the ID
and
network.
I know. Like who did I marry?
Who did you rape?
Like,
He out
this
here busting windshields.
Dungeons where we gonna keep people kidnapped. This ain't home. Like this is crazy. That we were not. This is not what.
I'm like, is
Atlanta
Candy and Rick
Housewives.
Ross out here like running the streets? The fuck?
It's too much, y'all. It's too much.
This too much.
This too much.
On that note, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit me up at DJ Jesse J.
I'm everywhere at Stuart Starlet.
Boom, you guys can hit us across the board at BHL Online.
Please
Also,
do.
hit us up at Reality Check. We do it every Sunday, 4 p.m. But we wanted to give you guys something special because we know y'all been missing us, and then we just been catching up on
missing
all
y'all,
the
too.
Real Housewives tea, and we're like, let's do the
Yes.
final 2 episodes. So we'll be back next Sunday,
week.
same time. Make sure you guys go check out the rest of the programming here on Black Hollywood Live. Till next week, peace.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.